What's the Ellie?
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 We gon' talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the
room.
What's the Ellie?
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 We gon' talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the Ellie?
room.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of What's the Ellie. We're back again for episode number 21.
What's the Ellie?
What's the Ellie, my people? It's good to see everybody out there in virtual land. We hope that everybody's maintaining as always, and we're definitely always happy that we have a few minutes to chime in with you guys and talk about some key issues as always. My name is Jay from around the way, for those that aren't up to speed as of yet. And you are?
I'm Just Lady.
Just Lady. She switches it up sometimes. Got to check some other episodes and see how it is. Anyway, that's how we do, man. And we're so happy again that we're going to speak to you guys again on some issues that are sometimes difficult to talk about, but they need to be talked about. And we don't talk about just the problems, we try to talk about some solutions. So as always, if you guys check this video out this month, next year, 2 years from now, whenever you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, give us your feedback on some of the stuff that we're talking about. If it touched you, some stuff that we perhaps left out that you'd like to discuss, we always appreciate respective feedback.
Amen.
All right. So anyway, like I mentioned, this is Webisode number 21. And this Webisode is catering to parents, but a different portion of parenting. And what is that?
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting. Now, I know what most of you think. Right off the bat, sometimes co-parenting usually is something that a person thinks that is linked to parenting a child that's outside of a home. But that's not always the case. And today we're going to discuss a couple of other forms of co-parenting, obviously, that is involved as well. And in the home co-parenting.
Yeah, that's
sometimes
more like co-piloting.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it's co-parenting.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't think about it that way. And what's the importance of talking about co-parenting? Well, it's very important. It's very important because we're raising adults. And whether we like it or not, if it's our responsibility to make sure that these young ones are raised in a manner that is going to be as effective as possible for everyone involved, especially them. So this is why we thought to talk about co-parenting in the forms of in the home co-parenting, because again, oftentimes it gets misconstrued as something that's just for kids that are a part of separated families. But co-parenting in the home is very important. The dad has a role, the mom has a role. Obviously, we're sympathetic to individuals who are a part of single parent homes. Very difficult. Because it's very difficult to even co-parent.
Yeah, with two people in the house, it's difficult. So
yeah,
one parent is like dysfunctional.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we always talk about groups. You guys know that from our episodes, but we'll get a little further into that. But the reason why the co-parenting is so important, again, to talk about is because we're raising these adults, and things are happening with these young people that were happening with us. And there's things that are happening that are even deeper now because of the advancement of technology. Just like the world in itself has sped up so much in what these young people are able to get themselves involved in. There were certain things that, as a kid, I didn't have access to. And young kids, we just didn't have access to, as far as the internet in itself.
Yeah.
We talked about in one of the episodes, it's just like an endless an endless opportunity to get yourself into all kind of stuff. So number one, the internet,
Yeah.
just opens your mind. You can look at anything. And so trying to co-parent and making sure that we're crossing these lanes for these kids is very, very important, because there's a lot of stuff that we have been missing. And let's try to discuss some of those things. What are some of the things that you have noticed, like that's an issue or a problem or whatever, as far as co-parenting in the home? Let's go in the home first.
Differences affect the way that you parent inside and outside of the house. You can have, of course, differences in how you were raised. Even if you were born in the same city, there's just different things that goes on in households that don't go on in other households. You have parents who haven't healed their traumas, that's passing their traumas down to any seeds that they bring into the earth. Mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, etc. Parents undermining parents to say, I know what your mama or your daddy said, but I said this. Lacking the ability to be a united front and giving your kids the opportunity to take advantage of that or play on that against the parents. Disrespect. Sometimes people get tired of each other and they start to disrespect one another in front of the kids. And it can make your kids feel bad or feel like y'all hate each other and they're part of both of y'all. And they just feel like if y'all hate each other and they're a part of both of y'all, then it must be something in them that y'all hate too. So many different things to just dissect and heal within co-parenting in and out of the house.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a mouthful, more than a mouthful. And it's a lot more, like we discussed before off camera, that needs to really be handled from a village standpoint. And obviously we'll discuss more of that as we go into the solution end. But like you mentioned, there's so much trauma that can happen on the child end and then also on the parental end, even trying to deal with a child that's going through different things. The traditional form of parenting we've discussed is just completely underpowered. The bullying, different things that can enter the arena with children that sometimes parents can't get a grip on soon enough. We discussed that in one of the episodes with the teenagers about the bullying really quickly, but this is stuff that goes on early, like in households, and sometimes it even goes on within family members. Right? And
I thought I was ugly because of inside of the family. Like, I just thought like something's wrong with me. Like, oh, my head is big, my nose is too wide, my lips is too full. Like, all the jokes that family made, like, it made me tough. So when I went to school, I knew how to joke back. But like you said, like, sometimes it's inside the house, and sometimes family, that's their way of just having fun. But everybody don't have fun that way. So even when kids go to school carrying that on, like, we're just having fun and you taking it serious, that's not everybody's definition of fun. So that's a whole nother Ellie, your kind of fun versus other people's kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And that really can fall, again, under the co-parenting situation, because as parents in the home, like you mentioned, it's like a pilot and co-pilot situation. And at the end of the day, whatever goes on that plane, whatever goes on in that household, it's the responsibility of those pilots to make sure that that plane stays orderly, runs orderly as much as possible. And so allowing certain things, certain jokes, certain attitudes, certain jealousies, allowing that stuff to fester, thinking it's cute, laughing at it a little bit, siding with certain kids over other kids while they making fun of their sibling, their brother or sister. It's little stuff like that, start stuff.
True.
And then you go and take off and go to work for hours and you don't know that stuff been brewing.
Yeah.
It's been brewing.
Yeah.
And then it brews over the years. Before you know it, it blows up at a family reunion years down the road. And you be like, I never knew that this stuff was going on. Well, starting with the parenting in the home, man. You know, even being home enough. You know, we talk about how difficult it is to parent on a normal program, let alone a breadwinner's schedule of trying to be a parent, or two of them. You know, we discussed the math. The math is ridiculous. You know, a 40-hour work week for an individual. They got an hour or two in the front, you know, to get up in the morning, get prepared, get to work. A couple hours at the end to try to get home from work, picking up some different needs or whatnot that's needed. Right. Yeah, that's 60 hours a week, man, minimum. That's just based off a 40-hour work week.
And what time does that leave to parent?
Yeah, that's like 200. That's like 240 hours a month that you missing from the household. That's a little under 3,000 hours a year that you missing from the house, man. 3,000, a little under 3,000 hours. And so there's a lot that's going to go on. And this conversation is not to overwhelm, because there's a lot of individuals that say, hey, man, listen, I'm doing the best I can do. And to you individuals, you get the applause. It's a lot of individuals doing the best they can do. But the thing is that it's different from doing the best that you can do than doing what you need to be doing, what needs to be done. We've talked to some individuals that have said stuff like, hey, man, I've ran my race. I did my time.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And I understand that you get like, to a point and you're like, hey, I'm tired. I'm supposed to check out at a certain point.
Because it was never supposed to just be on you.
Absolutely.
You know, my grandmother talks to me about what it was like to work full time in the shop. While my grandfather worked full time in the shop. Now you got 4 kids at home. 3 teenage girls that's like back to back apart or whatnot. They have boyfriends or whatnot. You telling them don't have no boys in the house. You got the younger brother saying, watch your younger brother, watch Junior, whoever your uncle name is, your younger brother, whatever. You know, and you can't watch teenagers, and then when you come around them, they know how to talk in a way that's acceptable to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're also getting grooming from television and the streets and school, etc., while you're working.
Yes.
And you can say, I'm working hard to take care of you, and this is what you're doing. Yep. But they still need guidance. They think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing at their age. But that's why you need more of a village. You need a tribe around. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, that's not just a cliche. You know, you think about everything you need to pour into your kid, whether it's teaching them how to read, write, research, groom themselves, take care of their hygiene, how to cook, how to handle issues and confrontations, and all of these things you're supposed to just install into your kids. And it's like only 1 or 2 people supposed to do that? No. You know, it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be hands-on all the time. Not, let me call my family member to go check on my teenagers while I'm at work, like it was in my house. Yeah. My mother worked 3rd shift. I was a teenager watching my siblings, and you just feel like, hey, you giving me adult responsibilities. You're trying to be like an adult. Yeah. So there's just like at all age groups, even after you graduate high school, you need some of the younger people that's a little older than you to take you up under their wing as well, so you can see what that part of life is like, and not the older people be like, let me tell you, don't even worry about all of that, just because you're skipping past stuff that these younger people still have concerns about. You can say, oh, just forget about that and just do this because you wish you would have. But they need younger people that they can trust and be around and talk to and feel like, okay, it's not going to be like talking to my mom or dad who's going to give me these lectures and want to tell me, oh, I shouldn't even be worried about this. But that's not helping anything. Like, you need people to bridge the gap in all age groups, even the grandma age. Like the abuelitas.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You need the grandma and grandpas that can come around and realize what mistakes they made with their children and get that to your grandkids and drop wisdom on them from their older years and their years of experience. So this co-parenting thing, really your whole village should be parenting your kids.
Yeah, and that's going as we proceed towards the resolution. I mean, it's no way to really get away from it, man. You know, when we discuss all the things that could happen within the family structure, especially with just these children, it's no way to get around discussing the need to have more individuals around.
And if you did, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you did, I think that it would eliminate a lot of the separations and divorces that's happening with the parents.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And then they got their anger from that, and then that's been instilled into the kids' environment, and it's
for the
unhealthy.
co-parent out of the home.
Yeah, or inside.
True.
You know, because you got what they call competitive parenting as well.
Okay.
So now it's, I'm going to be at this house, you're going to be at that house. Let's see who parents the best.
Yes.
I'm going to spend this money. They got something called Disneyland parenting. That's the parent that just do all of the fun stuff, neglect, discipline, all of that stuff, and just try to win the kids over with generosity, gifts, money,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Unbalanced views.
Yeah.
Unbalanced, and at the end of the day, it winds up hurting everyone long term. So yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that, because these are the types of things that can start to happen with the co-parenting even inside of the home. Just complete ignorance, and it stems from the village lacking, individuals not being around those wise individuals to say, listen, just take a break for a second.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to the youngster.
Yeah.
Sometimes the kids don't want to talk to the mom and dad, because maybe the mom and dad are known for jumping crazy sometimes, because they are already irritated from work and other little things. And there's stuff that's going to happen in the kid's life that's going to be crazy sometimes.
And frustrate you.
And the kid will be like, man, listen, if I tell my dad this, if I tell my mom this, they're going to trip. I know them. I know they're going to trip. This is the point of having multiple individuals. And before we get too far, the individuals that say, oh, it's not like that, oh, we good over here, some of you individuals is missing it the most. And that's all I'm going to say. And it's not about putting out division and, oh, you don't know what's over here. Like you mentioned, a lot of young people, they know how to put on that front. They know when the mom and them is trying to brag and act like everything is all good to outsiders or whatnot. And they won't want to mess that perception up.
Right.
But they got inside stuff that's happening.
Absolutely. You know, even if money isn't an issue, you still need a village. That's why you have people with money buying their village. They're buying nannies, they're buying cooks, and they're buying maids and all. That's buying your village.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're told just two in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, and so that's just how we were broken up and reprogrammed the wrong way, and it's been failing us miserably. If I can explain all of the kids that I've helped to feed that's just walking around in the summertime when school ain't in and they need to eat something, and it's just too much going on. And it's not me judging their parents. 9 times out of 10 their parents can see me and feel like, oh, you already got your own thing, you on your business, you got your little family or your husband and kids or whatever. And it's like,
it's weakness.
It is.
Because
that's
we
not
need more than that. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so
you got to listen to the individuals that you feel that's in the lead tell you what they need.
Yeah. It's like somebody tell Michael Jordan, oh, you shouldn't feel like you was tired of it. You was the best. You know, you're Michael Jordan. Everybody look up to you. He was tired. He's like, I feel it. I'm at the point where I can't do this anymore.
In the story, but we definitely appreciate all of the wonderful beauty he gave us, man.
Yeah.
You know, but
at what expense?
So much out. Yeah, of course.
Know,
Now, so before we get too far, guys, it's giveaway time.
Giveaway time. Giveaway time.
It's giveaway time. All right. We appreciate everybody hanging out. Just a little something for the individuals that's around that wants to have an opportunity to win. It's our opportunity to try to give back. And so this is what you have to do first. All right. You have to post 2 items from the endlesscorners.com page. All right. That's 2 items from the endlesscorners.com page. 2 items from the Paperless Flyers page. That's either on the Instagram side or the Facebook side. And then you'll tag us. That's a total of 5 things that you'll do. All right. And the first 2 people to do that, the first 2 people will win $50 quick cash, 4 ounces of sea moss each.
Nice.
All right. So the first 2 individuals to do that will win a quick 50 and 4 ounces of sea moss. So you got like under 3 to 4 minutes worth of stuff to do to grab that. All right. And any jump card member that we have that wins, the first jump card member, if we have one of them that wins, you guys will win a $25 quick cash in addition to the 50 and the 4 ounces of sea moss. All right. And you guys have 24 hours from the drop of this original video to win that prize. 24 hours.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we hope we have a winner out there. Now for the resolution side of this co-parenting, because it just really can go.
Yeah, it's a lot of problems.
It's very, it can be very tedious for the individuals that don't have a group and they like, listen, I just got to do the best I can do with what I got. I don't have a group right now, but if I run across one, I run across one. What kind of advice? What do you feel that they could do for inside the home, number one?
Group up with people who feel like you, people around you that you can click with, because if it was a natural disaster time, people would be like, hey, sleep here. Hey, I'm sleeping there, and you have to treat your situation like a natural disaster that it is.
Yes.
And also I say any problems you have within co-parenting need to be written down, and you need to research ways to deal with that appropriately.
Like that. Write them down.
Yes. Now, everybody's not going to be easy people to co-parent with. There's something called parallel parenting, which I got quite good at. And it's an arrangement which separated or divorced parents are able to co-parent by means of disengaging from each other or having limited contact in situations where they have demonstrated that they are unable to communicate with each other in a respectful manner. So parallel parenting is a suggestion by family counselors, etc., of people who they can't get along, and sometimes it's both of the parents that's just they're enraged with each other and they're looking to make each other's lives miserable or say whatever they can say or do whatever they can do to hurt each other or show disregard from one another. And then sometimes you can be parenting with a narcissist and it's just like, oh God, any legal attorney you have, when they feel like you're parenting with a narcissist, they know that they have a case that's not going to be easy. Somebody with mental health disorders, different things that can make your situation a little bit more complex than 2 people that just decided they don't want to be together anymore, but they have an interest in taking care of their kids peacefully. They just want peace. Yeah.
And it's just, unfortunately you have those type of situations where you're not able to get along, with individuals, and for whatever the reason, whether it's, they'll say it's your fault or whatever. At the end of the day, it hurts the child, even when the one parent or the other says, oh, it's the child grew up all right. There's a lot of parents that tell, us or our generation, hey, you got grown, didn't you? And it's like, hey, at the end of the day, that's pretty much it, But as far as from a mental standpoint, a progressive standpoint, no. A lot of times there's this thing which is trying to repeat what our parents did or what their parents did.
School, get a job, get married or not, have kids or not. If you don't, people will ask you how come you ain't got kids before they ask you how come you ain't married, or I come from anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of pressure on that. The village isn't being fixed, but people ask you, when you gonna have some babies?
A lot of times the babysitters ask you that because they got you in queue. Try to add you to their tax forms for the year.
A lot of times it's just people that just want to see you going through the same struggles as dysfunctional. Like, they'll tell you all of their struggles after you become a parent and you start complaining about it. And they be like,
that's true.
I remember the day.
So why did you say that?
Well, I figure everybody got their own life.
Yeah.
Like, you wasn't acting like that, acting like You concerned about when I'm going to conceive. Nonetheless, these are the problems within co-parenting. Shared parenting in high conflict situations are harmful to children according to studies, but a warm relationship with both parents is a protective factor for children and with any bonus parents. So you need to think about it. If the child has a bonus parent, a step parent legally is what they would call it, but a bonus parent is what I call it, then everybody needs to be adults in matter to say, hey, maybe I don't want you to be with her or him. I prefer to still be with my family or whatever, what have you. But if that new person that's around are looking to care about your child or children the way that they would care about their own that came from their body, then you need to have a measure of respect for them. There's something you got to dig inside of yourself and fix and say, hey, it's me. It's not them. It's me. I need to fix my stuff because this person is trying to be a bonus parent to my child. Not replace me, but trying to be a beneficial factor in this child's life. And the more adults that are in your child's life and with their best interest in heart and looking to help them and connect them to things or give them skills or what have you, the better for your child or your children. It makes them stronger. The more adults are that's caring about them.
That's true.
You know, so that's one thing that it said that adults need to get into their heads. That's like something to heal. If you can't deal with a new person being in the picture that's actually a good person and looking to benefit your child.
I appreciate those. Inside the home, a united front. I wanted to mention that. Making sure that you guys have a united front, not allowing the child to pit one against the other. Sometimes that happens. You know, the children, they know how to work one or the other. Maybe they know when to go ask the dad something when they feel like he's tired, a little bit tired. He's kind of like, yeah, go, you know, go do it or whatever. But maybe mama would have said no, or maybe mama did say no or something, you know, and it, you know, so it's important early to try to get on that.
Yeah.
It happens.
I have friends that be like, oh, I know to ask my dad because my dad's more lenient. My mom going like, no, don't ask me nothing, you know.
You find out quick.
Yeah, and so teenagers, especially when they start trying to plot and go places with their friends, like, you ask your mama, you ask your daddy, what they say, you know, that starts to happen.
Absolutely. Also talk often, you know, as a parent. You know, it helps me sometimes to go talk to my daughter and see what's on her mind. I get a different answer sometimes, or a different direction sometimes, depending on if the mom is talking, you know. And so do that. Talk to the child, switch up. If you only got one child, still sometimes take them off by yourself. Talk to them, try to see what's going on with them. We need that village. If you don't have that village, at least try to let that child know that you want to hear their mind as much as possible. That's very important in the co-parenting program, because a lot of stuff backs up.
Yeah, especially if they're outside of the house.
It backs up.
You be like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
And when did you get a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Or when did you get a girlfriend?
It's stuff you can remember right now, you know, that your mom and dad probably still don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
I had a junior adult life as a teenager.
Crazy. It's a life.
Yes.
School is a life. And it has evolved so much since our parents and them were going to school. Like, they don't even understand that world. It's a world.
I had a more active social life as a teenager than I do as an adult. And that says a lot.
Yeah.
So
I was moving around. And that's because a lot of times that was through force. You was forced to get up. You was forced to get out. You were forced to go and mingle in a school type setting around multiple kids.
But then outside of school, like on the weekends, like hanging out after football games and parties and dice games and
all that street crazy.
Yeah.
Live world to a lot
very,
of people.
very, yeah. And so, yeah.
So yes, people, as always, you know, it's very tough out here, and we understand that it's very difficult to do the co-parenting thing. As we've discussed today, it's very difficult to cover everything that we needed to even discuss to really tighten down on the co-parenting issue within a 30-minute structure. I mean, it's already been 30 minutes and we just pretty much cracking the top, if you will, on these issues. And so we want people to comment again on these issues. We know that there's different things you're going through as it relates co-parenting, different tough situations, whether it's inside the home or outside of the home. But if it's inside of the home, we've discussed a couple of things that people can do. Grouping up is definitely important. Talking to your kids as much as possible, letting them know that you want to hear them. You've mentioned quite a few things as well that can be done for individuals that are having problems with people that they can't get along with, the parallel parenting. Don't get caught up in all of that silly Disneyland parenting and stuff. That stuff is silly, man. You know, let's parent appropriately. The kids need balance.
Yeah, they don't need to see their parents competing with each other.
It's ignorant.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you might not be on the same team as the other parent anymore, but when it comes time to taking care of that child, you're supposed to be on the same team for that specific task. If your child becomes like a business,
yeah,
and whoever you have a child with becomes a business partner, whether it's a good business partner or a bad business partner, you have to deal with that business partner until that child gets of a certain age, you know, and so choose wisely.
Choose wisely, people. Perhaps we're going to go a lot deeper into this on one of our future Ellies. We'll see what kind of comments and stuff we get off the videos as it's posted on YouTube, how involved individuals are. Perhaps we'll go even further into some of the specifics of the co-parenting situation, because again, we understand that it's a very serious problem. It's a very serious responsibility. But for now, thank you very much for spending a few minutes and talking to us and even opening that door to talk about that issue. Let's definitely just try to engage with each other as much as possible so that we can do our part in raising these young adults to be as successful as they can be under the circumstances.
With the least amount of trauma from our own issues.
Absolutely, man. All right, we always wish everyone well. We wish that everyone is careful, staying safe, staying alert out there for all dangers. And we can't wait to see you guys again, because we know that when we see you again, it's always going to be a joyous opportunity to have a meeting of the minds, to share information, because at the end of the day, we all need each other, and there's no fighting that. So until we see each other again, what's the Ellie?
What's the Ellie?
Peace.
What's the Ellie?
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 We gonna talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the Ellie?
room?
What's the Ellie?
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 We gonna talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the Ellie?
room?